Hello there, everybody. Welcome back. And here is another edition of SBID, aka Sorta Breaks It Down number 20. And this is a big one because the news just broke and it's still being ongoing. So there's probably going to be more info that comes out. But I just wanted to get my general thoughts on apparently Netflix won the bidding war to acquire WB Discovery or Warner Bros. And this is insane, and there's a lot of people freaking out and giving their thoughts on it, and I figured might as well throw my hat into the ring and give my thoughts on it. So I know it's been a long time since I've done a video in this, but my main goal of the SBID segment of my channel is to talk about breaking news and like big stuff that happens in the entertainment industry and stuff that interests me to maybe get my thoughts on. And unfortunately, I've been slacking on that department for quite a while. I know it's been a couple of years since the last one, but this just gave me the oomph to really do another video in this series because this is really troubling for me in so many ways as a big fan of going to the theaters and the theatrical market. And the main thing I think of is not to try to compare it, but I remember all the way like 6 years ago or whatever when Disney acquired 20th Century Fox and they gained another foothold in the industry in terms of basically eating up another major studio. And a lot of people at the time, myself included, were kind of excited because they were going to get all the X-Men and all the Marvel stuff and hoopla. And while that was enticing and stuff at the time, I'm not saying that this set the precedent going forward, that they were able to get away with it, so now Netflix tried or whatever. But that, I think, is really dangerous going forward because obviously Netflix is a streaming service and they're really competitive in that market and they're really strict on keeping stuff, streaming and having like their hands on everything, creatively and stuff. And obviously the movie theater industry, which I love going to the theaters, I love wanting to support, theater chains and stuff. They have been not doing so great, especially after, COVID and stuff. And so, unfortunately, if this actually goes through, which I really hope there's a lot of pushback on it, and based on a lot of the stuff I've been seeing, throughout the day from different sources, there is probably going to be some big pushback. Because, for example, like, I'm going off of Culture Crave, who they've done some good reporting on this on here, and here was the initial news that dropped about and all the claims and sources on what Netflix is saying. For one of the major claims that a lot of people are worried about is they're saying we're gonna keep doing stuff theatrically and stuff, and obviously a lot of us are kind of giving the side eye, looking like, you sure about that? Because we know your stick, Netflix. We know your game. Even stuff that would be successful and help theaters out, like the Knives Out films are a perfect example. How the original by Rian Johnson was pretty, solid. It did decent money. And then the sequel, The Glass Onion, they put it in theaters for like maybe a week or so. It did pretty good business. And then despite that, because if they really benefit them, they just took it right out of theaters when it could have really helped out that industry for their own benefit. And then even with the Wake Me Up Dead Man, the new one, like that is, I feel like, a good example what they're gonna do, because when they say they'll keep it in theaters, what that really means is they'll maybe keep it in for like a week or two, and then once it doesn't benefit them, they're just gonna pull it without any concern. And what makes me so concerned about this is that Warner Bros. Is one of the big IPs like Disney or Universal or Sony, and losing another one, and Netflix already having so much of properties, like so much content as it is, them being able to gobble up stuff like DC, stuff like Harry Potter, and all these like horror stuff, like It and like The Conjuring, and it's nuts how it feels like they're gonna be able to do this. I really think the powers maybe should step in and be like, this might go against antitrust laws. This might be like a big monopoly, which is, we have laws in place to prevent stuff like that happening. And I really feel like that more people, like I feel like a lot of people already are talking about it and stuff. But I really feel like uh, government officials maybe should be getting involved, being like, hey, this doesn't seem right. We can see the trend right now. We can see that this will get worse because of the dangers that it holds, not only for the theater industry, how it's probably gonna not do, like, it's gonna be in a worse situation because of this, because another market that was guaranteed like some financial stability, Warner Bros. Films are gonna mostly be pulled off the table. But them being able to have such a strong foothold, like a lot of people complain when Disney got 20th Century, but this is even worse because we've seen more studios either just lack of decrease value or just sell off or try to sell off. And apparently, like, in terms of like the reports, like Netflix made that big statement, as you saw earlier in the video, saying it's a done deal. But according to, again, Culture Crave is doing good research here. They're saying that Paramount wants to outbid them, even though they're saying that the bidding's done, and they're trying to offer Warner Bros. A better thing, which, again, I think that would also be worse. I think Warner Bros. Has had a fantastic year. We saw, like, literally the Minecraft movie did excellent, even though it was kind of trash. The new Conjuring did really well. Sinners obviously was a cultural phenomenon, did incredibly well, and all these films did such great business. And it's like Warner Bros. Has had like a great year. I believe they broke the record for the most consecutive films that opened at number one. And it's like, why would you shoot yourselves in the foot after a great year for your company? You made so much money. Most of the films people liked and enjoyed. And I believe One Better After Another, which was their least performing, I'd say, of the year, is like an Oscar frontrunner in a way. So they have so many films, and their brand is doing much better than in past years. Why sour everyone with this deal and side in with Netflix, not really caring about the ramifications? It's a horrible business decision. It makes no sense from that perspective. And of course, people like me are like, that's just bad. Like, I just don't think this is good. Also, of course, a lot of industry people, like I believe the Writers Guild of America, also came out saying that this can't happen and they're strongly against it. I believe also the Directors Guild of America came out saying that they disagree with this as well, and I believe the president of that organization is going to try to talk to, I believe, the Warner Brother head or something to try to stop this from happening as well. And there's just so much stuff flying around with this, and it really does, like, a lot of like casual normies that aren't into this stuff aren't really gonna care, but they're gonna feel it down the line. Of course, I've seen some reports, like a lot of people, and a lot of people have fears and concerns that I've seen on if they own all this stuff. And Netflix already has a lot of controversies it's been going through, mainly in on Twitter, because everything becomes like drama on that site. But a lot of people are pointing out stuff that they disagree with that's being on the platform and being pushed on the platform. And a major concern that a lot of people have is them going back and either changing out classics, films or shows that they're now going to own and they can do what they want, or they just butchered the classic material. And there's a lot of old stuff that I guess in today's day and age hasn't really aged well, but they're still they should be saved as like time capsules of the time and the artists who lived then, who made that stuff. And so there's a lot of fears that people are spreading. How much of all this will actually end up happening, we still don't know, because again, the news just broke today. But there's just a lot of concerns, rightfully so. My main concern, obviously, is about preserving the classic films and shows of the past that could potentially be ruined or butchered with this. The theatrical industry taking a heavy hit, because this is a devastating blow if it happens. And I really feel like I don't want to try to be overly negative, because I really love films and supporting. It's something fun for me to do, to just go to the theater, and to this be like another nail to that coffin of that experience going away really makes me sad. and I really hope that this doesn't pan out. And even though like I saw Paramount is wanting to outbid and buy it as well, like we discussed, but even that, like, that's another Disney Fox situation. So I think Warner Brothers, I just don't understand, because they seem to be doing so great. Why would they want to throw in the hat like this? But again, a bunch of ramble thoughts I had on this situation, but I really want to know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Do you agree that this is kind of like a insane deal, like this shouldn't happen? Or are you one of the few that probably supports this? Again, let me know down below. If you want to hit the subscribe button and the bell as well to get notified when I upload, that would mean so much to me. Again, thank you all so much for basically watching me ramble about this, because I'm still stunned about the news. But I appreciate it, and I'll see you later. Bye.